Hello, my lovely 8th graders. Today our review topic is evolution and genetics. What is evolution? Well, evolution is change over time. And I'm going to say that again because it's super important. Evolution is change over time. One of the things that we can often get confused is that some of us think that it goes really quickly, but it does not. Evolution, and that's why we use this picture with the monkey into the human, it's definitely a gradual change over time. Now, when you see things about evolution, you might see some things that say biological evolution, or you might see geological evolution, and you need to understand the difference between the two. We know that bio means life, so biological evolution is the change of any of the life forms on Earth, whereas geo means land. Think of geography. So geological evolution is talking about changing the shape of Earth's surface with things like plate tectonics. Okay, so for evolution, living things evolve in response to changes in their environment. And within every population, variation exists with the inherited traits of the individuals. So just as someone might have different colors of skin, different hair colors, different eye colors, different features, those are different variations. And it's the favored traits, the ones that work well with their environment, that are more likely to survive. So you guys saw some examples of like a long neck giraffe versus a short neck giraffe. The long neck would be favored because of what it eats. Or in this picture down here, all the different types of bird beaks would be favorable to what environment and what they eat. A good old survival of the fittest. So individuals that have the adaptations best suited to fit their environment. So meaning the ones like if they have the beak that gets the type of food that they eat, those are the ones that are going to survive and they're going to reproduce the most successfully. What drives evolution? Our good old DNA and our genes. Now, a common misconception is that genetic mutations arise in response to the environment. That is not true. In reality, the mutations are constantly occurring. It's depending on the environment. Those mutations can be good, bad, or neutral. So just to throw this in there, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Okay? And you will see probably something on this where what you need to understand is that the greater the diversity of traits within a species, the more likely they are to survive during different environmental changes. So diversity of traits is a good thing. Okay, so in this picture, we have birds and we have some green beetles and we have some orange beetles. And it says, yum, green beetles are a favorite. So in this picture, the birds prefer the green over the orange because they taste better. So in the beginning, there are more green than there are orange. So, and the green beetle parents can produce an orange baby. Now, because the birds prefer the green, more of the orange are able to survive and reproduce. Then over time, the green beetles risk becoming extinct because they can't compete for resources as well as the orange, and because they are the favorite prey of the birds. So you see at the end, there's mainly all orange beetles. Okay, very important fact to remember, populations evolve, individuals do not. So it's a whole population of a species. All right, these are also 3 things that can be easily confused, but really important. So genes mutate, variations are selected, and populations evolve. Just wanted to throw this little picture in here. We know that Charles Darwin is the one that was all about natural selection. And in this little slide, it says adaptation is an inherited characteristic that increases your chance for survival. And so he loved his finches. So there's a bunch of different types, again, looking at the different beaks for what they eat. Those were their adaptations. All right. The next couple of facts are super important too, because these are things that you can easily get confused. So variation leads to adaptation. I'm going to say that again. Variation leads to adaptation. Now, random mutations lead to genetic variation, which leads to adaptations that help with survival. So random mutations, those are ones that already exist. Think of even people, the different skin color, different eye color, different hair color. All of those would be different mutations to make us maybe the way that we are. Those lead to our genetic variation, which leads to adaptations that help with survival. So last thing, an adaptation is any trait that aids the chances for survival. And that is all.